just been assaulted.
We reviewed dozens of surveillance videos from the past 2 years showing Bay Area bus drivers being hit, pepper sprayed, shot at, and even kidnapped by a passenger with a machete.
I really can't make this turn.
From 2008 to 2021, the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA, says assaults on transit workers increased 121%. Bay Area bus drivers tell us recently the attacks have been more frequent and more violent.
No.
NBC Bay Area first looked at surveillance videos and reported on these attacks in 2018, prompting calls for national safety measures.
Yeah, I am right. I will call the cops.
AC Transit bus driver Tina Gonzalez was one of the drivers assaulted in those videos. We're sitting down with her now because she was attacked again this year and suffered an acute head injury.
In 11 years, I've been assaulted 4 times.
Have you ever feared for your life?
When a kid pulled a gun on me. My supervisor told me one time was, just remember, you're the only one on that bus that probably doesn't have a gun. It scares the living hell out of me.
We reached out to these Bay Area transit systems requesting information on bus driver assaults. VTA and San Francisco Muni say attacks decreased this year. Samtrans says its cases nearly tripled, and it's not sure why. AC Transit did not provide their 2023 data after multiple requests over more than a month. So we went directly to FTA's database. The preliminary look shows, compared to all major U.S. transit systems, AC Transit is on track to have the highest rate of attacks on its workers in the country, far outpacing Chicago's and New York's rates. When we contacted AC Transit, a spokesperson declined an interview, saying 2023 data is still being collected, and said they're adding better protective barriers around drivers, although COVID supply delays and revenue losses have slowed the process.
It's going to take either one of us dying for them to take it seriously.
What are real solutions you want as an operator?
A better shield, not these fake shields that AC Transit made. Something that, like, New York has. They have those boxed in.
This is what most AC Transit buses that we've been seeing have right now, these partial plastic barriers. As for New York, they're testing out these fully enclosed compartments. Both local and national transit leaders tell me they're keeping an eye out on those prototypes to see what they can learn.
My top priority is to redesign the bus.
John Costa is the president of the Amalgamated Transit Union, representing operators across the U.S.
There's more stabbings going on. It's horrible. I mean, I have grown adults come in my office and cry.
Costa is working with the FTA on new safety measures authorized under President Biden's 2021 infrastructure law. But the road to safety has been slow. Regulations are still being written. One reason is due to disagreement over the FTA's proposal that transit system safety committees should have equal numbers of frontline transit workers and management representatives. The American Public Transportation Association says an impasse could tie up all federal public transit funding, and management must be the final decision maker.
You can't have veto power because then there's no teeth to this thing.
Gonzalez says bus drivers need a voice. Despite the dangers,
Do you have favorite passengers?
Heck yeah, I do.
she still loves her job.
I love my older passengers because I like to joke with them a lot. I never missed a day at work.
But she doesn't want to worry that a day at work might be her last.
At 1 week after our report, the feds are calling the problem a national level hazard. We're talking about assaults on bus drivers. They've reached dangerous levels, and today the Biden administration announced new action to protect all transit workers. This major step comes after our investigative unit uncovered a spike in these attacks. For more than 4 months, our team reviewed dozens of videos showing local bus drivers being hit, shot at, even kidnapped by unruly passengers. We also found that AC Transit is on track to have the highest rate of assaults on workers of any transit agency nationwide. The Federal Transit Administration's new plan will require local agencies like AC Transit to conduct assessments on worker safety. They'll also have to identify their plans to address these attacks and will have to show how it's doing all of this. We spoke to the president of the International Transit Worker Union about today's news.
Well, it's huge. I mean, it's finally complying with the law that we were happy to see that was put in the infrastructure bill. It's a big thing for us that they're actually going to hold the authorities accountable, where they're going to make them actually start to report real incidents that are happening where we believe they weren't. I applaud the administration for taking this step, but we still have a ways to go.
Let's bring in our investigative reporter, Candace Wynn, who's been leading our coverage for us. How long has this been on the radar for the White House?
So quick timeline here. FTA has been tracking the data since 2008. In 2019, a year after our unit's first report 5 years ago on this, the FTA started making some changes, started sending out alerts and safety programs. But today, this action is the first time there's some teeth to it, the union says, where if local transit agencies don't follow this directive, they could face enforcement by the feds.
Okay, so you say there is some teeth to this announcement. Is it more than just a public relations press release, or will there be some changes here?
That's what they're hoping. So this is the directive they're going to follow. Once they finalize it, transit agencies will have 60 days to report some data. And after that data, then the FTA says it wants to create some rules that we might see in the spring.
You've been asking our local transit agencies for a lot of that video, a lot of the data. Have they all been helpful to you? And now will they actually, more importantly, be helpful to the feds?
Yeah, so that's the big concern. I will say my experience the last 4 months requesting this data, some agencies gave us the information in a day or a week. Another agency that has a lot of concerns, we've asked for 5 months and we haven't received anything. So the FTA right now, they're requiring this data to really see how bad is this problem at the agency level. Right now, the FTA says it doesn't have a complete picture.
Okay, so to get that complete picture, what's the timeline now? This announcement by the White House, your investigation, our investigation for the last several years, when are they going to implement these new changes?
We got 60 more days for the FTA to have a final directive. Once they put in that final directive, then local agencies will have another 60 days, just 2 months, to submit all that data, all that information to the feds. After they get that, as I mentioned, the union is hoping for possibly new rules about safety. Could be barriers, could be other things, maybe in the spring.
This is fast for a federal mandate here.
The union will say it's a long time coming, but it is a huge thing. Yeah, our report was just last week, and now we're seeing some pretty big moves.
And really quick, you've been talking to a lot of the bus drivers and their family members of just their loved ones being attacked. This video is hard to watch.
Really hard to watch. Yeah, you know what? I talked to a few today. I mean, this just came down today. I haven't been able to call all of them. They're hopeful. They're cautiously hopeful because they've also been asking for this for long.
It is some powerful reporting. Thank you, Candace.